So, good morning, everyone. I'm Paula, Communications Lead at Sploro, and it's a great pleasure to have everyone here today. Thank you very much for attending and trusting us once again. So, welcome to the 20th edition of our Cascade Funding webinars. Today, we're diving into a thrilling topic. This is robotics, artificial intelligence, and sustainable innovation. So this session is especially designed for startups, SMEs, researchers, and tech innovators that are looking to shape the future with robotics and AI. So whether you're working on sustainable manufacturing, defect detection, or AI for green innovation, this webinar is just a perfect fit for you. What to expect in this session. So today we'll introduce you to three major Cascade funding opportunities supporting, as I told you, robotics projects. So we'll be having ELIAS, European Lighthouse of AI and Sustainability, the first open call. Afterwards, we'll be having Magician, this one for robotics for defect detection, open call one as well. And last but not least, Master, XR, and human-robot collaboration for education, the second open call. So our first speaker and first project, as I told you, is Cecilia Sanaso. She's a project manager of the ELIAS project, and she's from Unitrento, DC. So ELIAS, European Lighthouse of AI for Sustainability, it's a funding opportunity for SMEs and startups to develop AI-based applications addressing sustainability challenges. So the stage is yours, Cecilia, whenever you want. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So, thank you, and thank you, Paula. As she was explaining, ELIAS is the European Lighthouse of AI for Sustainability. We are a network of excellence. As you can see, we were established in 2023, and we're made of 34 partners. And the focus of the project is to establish Europe as a leader in AI for sustainability. And this consortium of 34 partners is made of top European institutions. As I said, we are a network of excellence. And what we want to do is to promote exchanges between academia and industry. And especially we're trying to do so with this open call, which is, as Paula said before, the first one. These are the main research areas that we're focusing on. In general, we focus on sustainability, but we have three different levels. The first one is the planetary level, the AI for Sustainable Planet, which focuses on data-driven modeling of physical systems, AI for scientific computations, AI algorithm for coordinated use of resources, vegetation forecasting. Then on the second level, we have AI sustainability at societary level, which is related to the sustainable AI for design problems, algorithms to protect democracy, migrant perception, AI for inclusive and sustainable prosperity. And then at the last level, we have sustainable at individual level, so it focuses on trustworthy AI. As you can see, algorithm fairness, personalization, and diversification. We also have some other objectives. The first one is building the AI Lighthouse. And as I said before, the network of excellence, the idea to connect academia and industry. And then also we focus on fostering the next generation of AI talents with our mobility programs and all that. But focusing on the open call, these are the 7 use cases we're working on. So building optimization, virtual infrastructure monitoring, responsible user-centric advertising, migrant perception, material discovery, vegetation state forecasting, and personalized co-piloting systems. In the open call, we ask you to work on one of these use cases to try to connect your proposal to one of these. And the opportunity is up to 60,000. And the deadline is actually, unfortunately, it's next week on the 30th of April, but we will have a second open call that's going to come out in February 2026. Anyway, the project is a 6-month project and it is funded by the European Union. And we're going to give you a lump sum up to 60,000 to focus on sustainability. There are the 3 categories that we are asking your projects to focus on. So methodology, software and tools, and benchmarks. The idea is to work on the 7 use cases, on one of the 7 use cases of the project, but it is not limited to it. So if there is a topic that is you feel is strongly connected to sustainability, but we're not working on it, please submit your proposal and we can find other ways to address this problem. Who can apply? We are looking for SMEs, startups, and NGOs, and they must be in the document the list of the EU associated countries to participate in this call. Otherwise, unfortunately, we cannot accept the proposal, even though we have received some from the United States and all, but this is not something the EU permits us. So please look in this list if it is possible. And yes, the SME, startups, and NGOs, they must be registered before applying. Otherwise, we cannot accept it. As I said before, here are some eligibility criteria. So the rules and the definitions of what is an SME, a startups, and it must engage with the categories I presented before. So methodology, software, and benchmarks, and addressing sustainable AI in one of the 7 use cases. We need to reach, the project needs to reach a TRL 5 at least, and shows it needs to show a way of going forward after the 6-month period. And in general, as the European Commission says, we need to follow the ethics guidelines, trustworthy AI. So it just needs a self-ethical assessment. We are having the help of FSX as a platform where you can send your application. This is general, you can see all the questions. You need to register first, but it's a quick thing to do. The idea about the proposal is to connect, of course, to our project, but in general to show what is the European dimension of the proposal, so how it can connect to the research of AI, sustainable AI in Europe. These are some just information, will find it in the slides, so it is not important, but it's how to present the proposal and the fact that you can only submit one. And please write them in English, as we have received some in other languages and we cannot read them and understand them, so please do so. This is the timeline. So as I said before, the deadline is the end of this month, but we will have another one in, as you can see, in February 2026. And then you will have from June to November to a 6-month period to work on your projects. After that, we will have an evaluation and then the payment. These are the selection criteria. So we will have 2 external evaluators plus our internal commission to evaluate which proposals are going to receive the grant. And we're based on 3 main categories. So excellence, impact, scope, and implementation of the projects. After the first selection in May, we will elaborate a ranking list and we will discuss with the sub-grant agreement. In this sub-grant agreement, you will find all the information regarding the payments, the IPR, and all of that. This is just a recap of the main information about the payments. So it's going to be a fixed lump sum up to 60,000. And it is a simplified method, but please, you're not required to present strictly the accounting documents, but you're obliged to demonstrate the implementation of the project. So please follow all the European rules on this matter. And the payment, as I said, will be released after the validation of the final report, so at the end of the 6-month period. We will ask, in this final report, we will ask you to describe all the results you have reached and a summary of the project and a video demonstrating the results of the project. These are some information because we received many of these questions on the platform and in general. So the definition of SME is the one made by the European Commission. So these are the criteria: the headcount in annual work unit less than 250, annual turnover less or equal to 50 million, and etc. You can find it. I will also put the link on our website. The NGOs is the same. The idea, these are the 2 most common questions. So the project outside the use cases, as I said before, you can apply even though your project is not strictly related to one of our use cases. The idea is that if you can find something that is relevant to sustainable AI and it is not something we're working on it, we're really actually happy to find this and find more ways to to focus on this problem. The TRL, as I said, the minimum level should be TRL 5, and we can accept applications with lower TRL, but as long as the applicant somehow describes what is the roadmap to reach higher TRL level. We cannot have one company submit more than an application, and we cannot have a consortium submit an application. Unfortunately, this is not possible. And if somebody presents 2 or more applications, we will just consider the last one, the one closest to the deadline. And yeah, this is the last thing.
Secondly, the next project presenting, this is a magician, and it's going to be presented by Margherita Volpe and Francesca Pasqualino from Zabala Innovation Consulting. So Magician Open Goal 1 is for robotics for defect detection and repair in manufacturing. This open call funds projects that enhance robotic defect detection and they repair manufacturing through AI-driven and human-centered automation. So as you're seeing already, they shared their screen. Margherita and Francesca, whenever you're ready, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you and good morning to everybody. Thank you for the introduction. My name is Margherita Volpe and I'm here with Francesca. We'll introduce the topic and Francesca will go further into the details of the second open course. So just to let you know that Magician is a project funded under Horizon Europe a couple of years ago, a little bit more than a couple of years ago. It has already 1 year of story during which the partners have been putting together a robotic solution for high quality product aesthetic and safer working environment in manufacturing. Basically, the project was awarded to realize systems that can improve the quality, thanks to robotic, improve the quality of the manufacturing process, especially with a focus on the automotive industry. So, feel free to move on. The project is expected to realize 2 modular robotic solutions, one dedicated to sensing robot for defect analysis. So one robot that is capable, one robotic solution capable of identifying even the smallest possible defects in production during the final stages of the production before they get to the commercial stage. And the second robotic system that is called the cleaning robot that helps operators to rework defects. The idea is that the project would like to develop AI solution that can help human operators to improve their daily job and work in the factories, with a special focus, as I was mentioning, in the automotive field. As you can see from the schema here, the sensing robot will work together with the cleaning robotic module in order to detect and rework these defects. And this is the general solution that the partners are putting in place in this moment and are working on. And this deals with identification and classification of defect, visual perception, tactile perception, so with the tactile robot, defect removal, cleaning, motion, and what we really would like to highlight is the fact that we are, the consortium is realizing all these developments thanks to the interaction with actual workers that lives this daily operation and can help to shape robotic solutions that are really useful for the sector. If you can move on. Okay. Inside this project, besides the technical developments that I was mentioning before, there is a big block dedicated to financial support to third parties. And in this case, financial support to third party is intended to address 2 functionalities. On one side, the first open call that is now ending on the 2nd of May, as a deadline on the 2nd of May, so really in a little bit more than 1 week. was intended to enlarge the functionalities developed by the magician partners. So in this case, the first open call was very technical and expected applicants to present new functionalities that can be added to the robotic systems that we are developing inside the project. There is a set of specification and very clear indication of the type of functionalities or the category of functionalities that we expect. And as I was mentioning, the deadline is next week. Both open calls are expected to reach and distribute maximum €1 million among 5 projects for a duration of maximum 12 months, meaning that each project is expected to be granted a maximum of 200K, which is a little bit more, substantially more, sorry, than what is typically available in these open calls, with the counterpart that we will select fewer proposals per each call. The second open call is the one that is a little bit more interesting probably for the audience here today, because it's the one that we will publish in December 2025, so this year, and we'll have a deadline in March 2026. I would recommend you to take into consideration and have a look to the call documents that were issued for the first open call, because changing the scope, several documents will be similar. For example, the application document will be similar in the second open call. The second open call will have a totally different scope. And in this case, we want applicants to present us new use cases, because as I was mentioning before, the magician solution is very tailored to the automotive domain. We know that similar robots can be useful in other kind of sectors. Therefore, the second call for proposal will be explicitly and exclusively oriented towards gathering new use cases. And in this case, we will still finance 5 projects for a duration of 12 months to implement the proof of concept, and will receive up to €200,000 again. If we can move on. The target applicants in both call for proposals are SMEs and startups. SMEs follow simply the classification of the European Commission, the one that has been used in all projects and also is typically used in Horizon. Here you have the summary table. What we consider startups are the smallest kind of SMEs with a specification that is reported in the frequently asked question. In this case, we put a maximum, we refer to micro-sized enterprises, but that have a shorter life, that are incorporated since maximum 5 years, or in alternative, that can produce a document, for example, from the Chamber of Commerce, that certify their status as startups. Natural individuals are not allowed, as in any other open call for proposal, and eligible countries are EU member states plus Horizon Europe associated countries. Here you have the link to check everything. This condition was valid for the first open call and will remain valid also for the second open call. In the first open call, we are foreseeing the participation as in 2 possibilities, so single applicant, so a single application solution, ELIAS here, or twin. During the second open call, the configuration as twin will be preferred. Indeed, twins are smaller projects in which there are 2 participants that share the total amount of 200K, and one has the role of coordinator. For the second open call, the twin will serve to put together probably a software or robotic developer plus an end user that can be representative of the new use case proposed. So let's say that, for example, you want to use a similar robots in order to rework small vessels, for example, or small planes, so still speaking about vehicles. In that case, the twin composition would be one software or hardware developer plus one end user of these sectors. I think that this is all on my side, and I leave the floor to Francesca to continue So,
as regard evaluation, selection, and implementation process, once the second open call will close in March 2026, right after it's going to start the evaluation process. There are 3 evaluation layers from the external expert, a business case evaluation, and magician internal evaluation committee. The evaluation is based on 3 criteria: excellence, impact, implementation quality. They are all ranked from 1 to 5. There's a minimum total threshold of 9 out of 15. And in case of same score, the ranking depends on the best value of excellence, so given to innovation. So 5 proposals will be selected, and they will be reported to Magician Project Officer for final granting decision. Selected project will receive notification in May 2026. In case of grant, there will be some information for the next steps. And in case of not grant, there will be an evaluation report of few comments. This is the funding scheme for application solutions. So as we said, each application solution will receive 200K at funding rate of 70% in case of SMEs and reaching 100% of the budget in case of startups. There will be 3 stages of financing. The pre-financing of 50% upon the successful completion of the kickoff meeting, the intermediate payment of 35% following the submission and approval of a status report, so work package, risk assessment, a financial report, and then finally a final payment of 15% following the conclusion of the application solution and the achievement of milestone deliverables. Then there will be all the selected project and the internal Magician partner will sign a sub-grant agreement before the implementation of the application solution that starts with the kickoff meeting. And once the kickoff meeting is going to happen in June 2026, the project will have an implementation of 12 months until June 2027. Here you have all administrative and operational details that you can find both in Magician website, in the open call section, and in the EU funding and tender portals. As Margherita said, you can see in the page that are the information in the resource and fundings, which are all the documentation of the first open call, which will be very similar to the second open call documentation. And you can also see the portal where the application form will be submitted, which is going to be the same for the second open call. For our side,
this is it. And in the next slide, you can see the consortium that is carrying out the project, and which corresponds to the organization. In case you apply, you will be working with. So it's also quite a nice opportunity to get in contact with a nice and interesting set of international players with a long-standing reputation in the field. So we hope this could be of your interest, and we welcome any question you might have at the moment. Maybe something else I would like to mention is that during each open call, we open 1 hour per week help desk, meaning that there will be available one Teams link to connect so that you can come and ask a question about the application format, evaluation criteria, and so on. And this remains open for the entire duration of the application period. So in the case of the second open call, it will be from December to March. There will be these sessions open for everybody to jump in, ask questions to a real person, interact, and obtain the kind of clarification you need. And good luck in case you decide to apply.
So last but not least, we have a master XR project with us. This one is on XR and human-robot collaboration for education. It will be presented by Panagiotis Karagiannis. He is the coordinator of the project and project manager at Laboratory Manufacturing Systems and Automation at University of Patras. Open Call seeks to attract educational content creators to validate the platform and its technologies with students. So thank you, Panagiotis. Whenever you're ready, the floor is yours.
Great. Thank you very much. Good morning also from my side. I hope you can see my screen. Great. So thank you, Paula, for the invitation. Thank you for the attendees for being here. I hope I will do as good the presentation as the previous speakers. Very nice projects and work. So my name is Panagiotis Karagiannis. I'm the coordinator of the master project, and I'm a project manager in the Laboratory for Manufacturing Systems and Automation in University of Patras in Greece. I will start with a few words about the project, just to give you an overview, and then I will go straight to the information about the open call, which I believe is the main interest and topic in today's event. So the master project aims to boost the XR ecosystem by providing an open XR platform, to which platform we will integrate different assets in order to create training material for robotics in manufacturing. This will be achieved through two open calls. The first one launched the previous year and is right now, the applications are running. And at the moment, we have launched the second open call, for which I will speak to you today. Our approach lies in five pillars. The first pillar, as I described already, is the OpenXR platform. In this platform, we will integrate the key components that they are focusing in three individual pillars. The first one is about safety mechanisms in the factory. The second one is robot programming, and the third one, the pillar number 4, is focusing on human-robot interaction and multimodal interaction mechanisms. The first open call, in the first open call, we invited SMEs and companies to provide technologies and create assets for the VR environment that belong under these three pillars and integrate them to the main platform. And in the second open call that we have launched this year, we are focusing on the last pillar, the pillar number 5, which aims to give to the people, to the interested parties, these technologies and create educational material and content through the platform. So just to go straight to the topic, in a nutshell, the second open call of the master project, we are targeting primarily university research and education non-profit organizations, and also SMEs. So this is, let's say, our primary target. These organizations, they can apply to the open call and they can receive funding. Of course, we are not excluding large for-profit companies, but let's say we don't, according to the rules of the open call, they can participate voluntarily for free, just as challenge providers. The educational institutes, the non-profit organizations that I mentioned before, will receive 100% of the requested funding, while the SMEs will receive the 70% of the funding. And the duration will be 9 months. Now, our second open call is based on 3 pillars. The first one is the industrial application. The second one is the get to know robots. And the last one is an open challenge pillar, under which we are inviting people to provide innovative applications on training in industrial robotics in general, let's say. Now to get into a bit more details for each pillar. For the industrial application pillar, here we aim to gather challenges in order to create XR-based educational scenarios that will help the students enhance their knowledge on industrial robotics by simulating real-world manufacturing processes. As you can see, we have 4 challenges. The same applies for the other pillars. We have 4 challenges under each pillar. The first one is the creation of machine tending applications. So here we are expecting scenarios, XR training scenarios that teach operators how to program and manage a robotic machine to execute and perform tending tasks, probably in a combination with a tending machine. The second challenge is focusing on the creation of line-following robot application. So the idea here is to create an XR-based learning tool that will enable the students to explore and simulate how robots can follow, mobile robots can follow predefined paths in order to execute specific tasks like welding or painting or grinding. So this kind of, let's say, processes are under the scope of this challenge. The third one is robot-assisted quality inspection. Quality inspection is another main process in manufacturing. So the idea here is to create an XR educational scenario to help the students know and learn how robots are working with perception devices together in order to perform quality control on a product or on a part or on a process, whatever, inside an industrial environment. And the last one, sorry, is the last challenge is XR for collaborative robot programming, which is, as you can understand, focusing on training activities of collaborative robots. So the first pillar, as you understood, focused more on the processes, on some basic manufacturing processes and how robots are used inside those processes. The second pillar is focusing more, it's called Get to Know Robots, and is focusing more on the fundamentals of a robotic system. So we go deeper, let's say, inside the robot. The first one, the first challenge, challenge number 5, is the understanding the robot reference system. And here we expect to have educational scenarios that will teach the basics of how a robot is working, what is a reference system, what is a kinematic chain, and how this is working in order for a robot to perform a movement, and so on. The second challenge for this pillar is the developing of educational material focused on human-robot collaboration for the general public. So here the focus of this challenge is to engage people from the general public in order to learn about human-robot collaboration activities. I believe you have a common conception that robots sometimes are considered with skepticism and that they will take jobs and so on and so forth. So the idea of this challenge is to bring closer to industrial robotics people from the general public. The third one challenge is simulating robotic maintenance procedures. And here, again, we are focusing on the maintenance activities, again, on the robot. We're focusing on the robot, but on the maintenance activities for the robot. So this challenge is focusing on technical personnel that should be trained how the robotic machines should be maintained, or the different peripherals, and what should be checked, the diagnostics, the troubleshooting, how all these activities are taking place. And the last one, a challenge for this pillar, is called safety in human-robot collaboration, which focuses on the safety aspects of human operators in workplaces, and how safety experts can use safety sensors and protocols, and how they can train the operators to have ergonomic postures while they are working. So all these kind of educational scenarios are expected in this challenge. Last but not least, we have the open challenge, as I mentioned at the beginning. Here we try to encourage applicants to propose a novel solution of their own. that will push the boundaries of the XR-based robotics education by suggesting a new innovative application that maybe doesn't fall within the challenges that I described before. Again, here we have 4 challenges. The first one is introduction of AI on training of industrial robotics. Here we expect an XR educational scenario that will incorporate some AI elements, like the use of LLMs, which is gaining a lot of attention nowadays, or different machine learning methods. The next challenge is focusing on XR for remote and inclusive robotics education. So here we are focusing a lot to people with disabilities to help them to be immersed in the robotics world by adapting the educational scenario to their needs. The third one is called multimodal interaction for XR-based robotics training. So here, this challenge is focusing on investigating different methods in order to interact inside the virtual environment with a robotic, industrial robotic system. And this will help to have a more immersive and intuitive training experience for the operators. And the last one is called gamification of robotics training in XR, which again, another element very common for the XR technologies that they have a very high gamification, let's say, feeling. And we strongly believe that if we add this element, this gamification element to the education, it will help improve the learning experience for the operator or for the students in general. And by gamification, we are thinking about, for example, leaderboards or giving some challenges, have some interactive missions with multiple players, and so on, so forth. Some more information about the open call now regarding the beneficiaries. As mentioned at the beginning, we are inviting any type of organization. Our primary target is university, research, and educational non-profit organizations, because the main scope of this open call is to create educational scenarios, and this is why we are targeting this kind of people. And these organizations should guarantee that they have the capacity, the student capacity, in order to test and run their scenario to validate their scenes. Of course, SMEs are always more than welcome. And as mentioned at the beginning, large for-profit organizations can also join voluntarily for free as challenge providers. The location, more or less similar with the other projects. They can be EU member states, overseas countries and territories of the member states, third countries associated to Horizon Europe. Also, to answer the question from a previous attendee, Turkey belongs in the third category. In the first open call, at least from our side, we had applications from Turkish organizations. The micro consortium can be composed from at least one non-profit educational institution. They can form a micro consortium with more than one educational institution or with SMEs, large companies, and so on. And the expectation is for the coordinator to be this university research educational nonprofit organization. Now, regarding the funding, the maximum funding per application is 100,000 euros. The funding will be 100% for the educational institutes, 70% for SMEs, and 0% for the large companies. The total fund is 2.4 million. And here you can see the distribution. It will be 30% at the beginning of the activities, actually up to 30%, depending on what the people will declare. We will not give a lump sum. It's the actual costs that should be declared. The second cost is up to 25% of the declared cost. And the last one will be after the end of the master project. The second open call closes with the closing of the master project. So we need to have also the budget from the European Commission in order to share with the applicants. So the third part of the budget, the third installment, will be given after the end of the master project, once we also receive the money from the European Commission. As I mentioned, the second open call has already launched since the beginning of April. It will be open until June 12. And then during June and July, there will be the evaluation period. Here you can see the more detailed dates and steps. I don't want to get into much detail. And the contract preparation and signing period will start at the middle of July until the end of August. And our target is to have the execution period at the 1st of September until the end of May of 2026. We have a very tight schedule because, as mentioned before, master project finishes in June of 2026. So we are aiming to have everything concluded until then. If you look in our website, I have also included the links in this presentation. These are the key documents, the guide for applicants, some annexes. What we are expecting from your side is to submit Annex 1, an informed consent form to be signed by the coordinator, and the Annex 7, which is the application form. And the other annexes contain informative material there. I would highlight Annex number 3, which contains information from the first open call applications. And this is the material, the technologies that you will have in your hands to use in order to create your educational scenarios. Annex number 4 contains the challenges that I have already described you in more detail. And Annex 6 is also a very important annex because it contains some requirements from our side for the application. The other annexes, of course, are equally important, but let's say are the general description and requirements also provided from the European Commission. And if you have some experience from the open calls, these are common with the other projects. So this is why I highlight the ones that are more focused on master project. As a last slide, I have included here a few important links. Our website, where you can find information from the open call. Paula mentioned that these slides will be sent, so you can use the links directly from here. And also, for any comment, any information, you can contact us at info@master-xr.eu. That's all from my side. Thank you very much, and I'm open to any question.